Welcome back, deep thinkers. Picture this: an individual who feels deeply, experiences others' emotions intensely, yet struggles to manage their own. They're a broken empath. In the realm of psychology, an empath is someone who is highly attuned to the feelings and emotional states of others, often to the point where they can experience those feelings themselves. They are often the nurturers, the healers, the ones who reach out a helping hand. However, it's not all rainbows and sunshine. There's a less talked about side to being an empath, and that's when an empath becomes broken. A broken empath, as we call it, is an empath who has been emotionally overwhelmed or deeply hurt. This could be due to a variety of factors, such as experiencing trauma, chronic stress, or simply the sheer weight of absorbing so much emotional energy from others. It's like they're a sponge that's been soaked to its limit, and now the water is starting to spill over. So, they still feel deeply, they still sense and absorb the emotions of those around them, but now they struggle to manage their own emotions. They may feel constantly drained, overwhelmed, or emotionally unstable. It's as if they're carrying a heavy weight that they just can't seem to put down. It's important to note that being a broken empath is not a permanent state. It's not a diagnosis, but rather a phase that some empaths go through when their emotional load becomes too heavy to bear. It's a cry for help, a signal that it's time to focus on self-care and healing. Understanding this concept is crucial, not just for empaths themselves, but also for those around them. Recognizing the signs of a broken empath could be the first step towards offering support, understanding, and compassion. Are you resonating with this? If you are, or if you know someone who might be, stay tuned as we delve into the signs of a broken empath. So, how do you spot a broken empath? Let's dive into the first set of signs. First on our list is emotional exhaustion. This is an all too common sign of a broken empath. They tend to absorb emotions from those around them, like a sponge soaking up water. But too much absorption can lead to a saturation point, causing a kind of emotional fatigue. Imagine a marathon runner pushing themselves beyond their limits, running mile after mile without a break. That's what it's like for an empath, except the marathon is emotional, not physical. Experts like esteemed psychologist Dr. Elaine Ahrens suggest that empaths often feel others' emotions so deeply that it can be draining, leading to this state of emotional exhaustion. So if you notice someone consistently appearing drained or fatigued, they might be a broken empath grappling with emotional exhaustion. The second sign is difficulty setting boundaries. Empaths, by their very nature, are givers. They give their time, energy, and emotional support to others, often without expecting anything in return. But sometimes they give too much. They struggle to say no, and can't draw the line between their needs and the needs of others. This lack of boundaries can lead to emotional burnout and is a classic sign of a broken empath. Renowned emotional intelligence expert Dr. Judith Orloff supports this, stating that empaths often struggle with boundaries due to their innate desire to help and heal others. However, this can lead to a loss of self, as they prioritize others over themselves. Lastly, we have a tendency towards self-isolation. Broken empaths often retreat into their shells, distancing themselves from the world. This isn't because they are antisocial or dislike people. On the contrary, it's a protective mechanism. It's their way of creating a buffer zone, a safe space where they can recover from the emotional onslaught they often face. In the words of Dr. Kristen Neff, a leading self-compassion researcher, this self-isolation is a form of self-care for the empath, a necessary step towards healing. These signs are just the tip of the iceberg. There's more to uncover, so don't go anywhere. Still with us? Good. Let's continue our exploration into the signs of a broken empath. As we delve deeper into this journey of understanding, we come across the fifth sign, a tendency to attract energy vampires. Now, what's an energy vampire, you ask? It's not as spooky as it sounds. These are individuals who, knowingly or unknowingly, drain your emotional energy. They feed off your emotional output, leaving you feeling exhausted and depleted. An empath, with their heightened sensitivity and willingness to give, often becomes a prime target for these energy vampires. Moving on to the sixth sign, we find that broken empaths often have difficulty expressing their personal emotional needs. You see, empaths are so attuned to the emotions of others that they may neglect their own feelings. They might struggle to articulate what they need emotionally because they're so accustomed to prioritizing others. It's like a scale that's tipped too far to one side. The balance is lost. The seventh sign takes us to a feeling many broken empaths are all too familiar with. The sense of being misunderstood or out of place. Imagine being in a room full of people yet feeling utterly alone. This is often the reality for a broken empath. Their heightened sensitivity can make them feel out of sync with the world around them. They might feel like an alien in their own life, constantly yearning for a sense of belonging that seems just out of reach. These signs, while not exhaustive, provide a glimpse into the complex world of a broken empath. Remember, these are not definitive diagnoses, but rather indicators that may suggest a deeper issue at hand. It's important to treat these signs with understanding and compassion, recognizing the struggle that the person might be going through. Are these signs starting to sound familiar? Well, we're not done yet. We're nearing the end of our journey, but there are still a few more signs to reveal. As we delve deeper into the heart of the matter, the 8th sign of a broken empath is a compelling urge to heal or fix others. This desire can be so overpowering that it borders on an obsession. They might spend their energy and time trying to mend others, often neglecting their own needs in the process. It's a noble pursuit, yes, but it can leave them drained, emotionally and physically. Next, let's talk about the 9th sign, a sense of being overwhelmed by negative news or events. The world can be a harsh place, and for a broken empath, it's even harsher. They absorb the pain of others and the world around them, like a sponge soaking up water. They feel the weight of the world's problems on their shoulders, making every news headline a potential source of distress. The 10th sign is a feeling of intense loneliness. Even when surrounded by people, broken empaths may feel isolated and misunderstood. It's like they're speaking a language only they can understand. They crave deep, meaningful connections, but these can be hard to find, leaving them feeling alone in a crowded room. Our final sign, and perhaps the most telling, is the experience of physical symptoms such as fatigue or unexplained aches and pains. The emotional turmoil isn't just in their heads, it manifests in their bodies too. They might feel constantly tired despite getting enough sleep, or they may experience aches and pains that don't have a clear medical explanation. It's their body's way of signaling that something is amiss, that their empathic nature is under strain. And there we have it. The 4 final signs of a broken empath: an overwhelming desire to heal others, being easily distressed by negative news, feelings of intense loneliness, and physical symptoms like fatigue and unexplained aches. Each sign is a piece of the puzzle, providing deeper insight into the empath's world. There you have it, the 10 signs of a broken empath, but what does this all mean? The answer lies in understanding, compassion, and self-care, but that's a conversation for another time. Understanding these signs is just the first step. What matters most is what comes next. As we've navigated through the complex maze of empathy and its implications, we've recognized that being an empath can be both a blessing and a curse. However, it's important to remember that being a broken empath is not a life sentence. Rather, it's a call to action, a clarion call for self-care, setting boundaries, and seeking the right tools and support to heal and thrive. Self-care is not a luxury, but a necessity, especially for empaths. It's about tuning into your own needs and honoring them. It might be as simple as taking time for solitude to recharge, or as profound as standing up to energy vampires who drain you. Whatever form it takes, self-care is about prioritizing your own well-being, even as you care for others. Setting boundaries too is crucial. As empaths, we often struggle with saying no, fearing we might hurt others. But remember, it's not selfish to protect your own energy, it's essential. Setting boundaries is about defining what's acceptable and what's not, about deciding who gets access to your energy and who doesn't. It's about giving yourself permission to put your own mental health first. But sometimes we need a little extra help, and that's okay. There's no shame in seeking therapy or joining a support group. In fact, it's a sign of strength, a testament to your commitment to heal and grow. These resources can provide you with the tools and strategies you need to navigate your empathic abilities without feeling overwhelmed or broken. Remember, being empathic is not about carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. It's about understanding, connecting, and healing, both yourself and others. So let's move forward together, armed with newfound knowledge and understanding, and embark on a journey towards healing and self-discovery. Remember, deep thinkers, empathy is a gift, not a burden. Use it wisely. And as always, don't forget to engage, like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for joining us on this journey.